Good morning, everyone. The responsibility. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I will say good morning, very good person. Good morning, everyone. It's too low. Good morning, everyone. I want to ask a question. Are we feeling cold? Maybe. Should we turn on the AC? So, good morning, everyone. Alright, good morning, everyone. It's important to give honor to who honor is due. I would like to recognize the district Rotaract representative of Rotaract District 9112 and person of Rotaract Attueyi. I recognize you. I also recognize fellow interactors, wonderful panelists, and also everyone present here. Thank you all for coming to today's panel session. My name is Rotaract Attueyi, and I'm from the Rotaract Club of Lagos, and I'm called on to read the citation of Mr. JP. Mr. JP Attueyi is the author of Rich, Young, and African, and the founder of Rich, Young, African, RYAG. The initiative is a movement dedicated to equipping young Africans with the knowledge, tools, and resources to achieve financial independence and build generational wealth. Through his work, JP is committed to breaking circles of financial hardship and inspiring the future and prosperous Africans. Fellow characters, friends, and guests of the country, please welcome Mr. JP Attueyi.
Good morning, everyone. I kind of started a little late, so I will kind of go through this presentation a little faster than I intended. But I hope to still be able to give you enough value in getting some of the very, very detailed and important details that I want you to leave you with today. So, my name is JP Attueyi. I'm the author of the book Regional Africa. And I also started the RYA initiative as a way to try to give back to the younger generation. One of the biggest problems we have in our country today is economic. We all seen it. People are struggling. Some people don't know where to get the next meal. Some people don't know how they will live past today. But within that, there are also some people that are doing very well. And so there's something they didn't teach us in school. It's financial education was never taught to us in school. And so financial literacy is something that you have to take time to learn yourself. And there are 4 foundations to this that I want to share with you today, that if you imbibe, ultimately you find yourself in a better position to be financially viable. So I'm going to speak this, she generally introduced me, so let's go to the next section. So go back. The 4 pillars: personal budgeting, savings, debt, repayment, and investing. These are the 4 pillars that you must understand in order for you to get to the stage where you can become financially independent. So let's start with budgeting. So budgeting is you telling your money where to go as opposed to wondering where your money went. Sometimes when we hear about budgeting, we think about restrictions, we think about straitjackets. Isn't this trying to stop me or trying to restrict me or do what I want to do? But if you look at your life, you will see that most times, if you don't account for your money, you will end up not knowing where your money went. You get your salary on the first of the month. By 15th, your money is gone. You can't tell what happened to that money. How did I spend it? So typically, what you should do every month, whatever way you get money, whether you have investments, whether you have a salary, whether you're self-employed, you work for yourself, when that money hits your account, the very first thing you must imbibe is how to budget. So you sit down and you say, I have 200K this month, that's my salary, this is how I'm going to spend it. So I'm going to tell myself, this is rent money, this is school fees money, this is food money, this is transportation money, this is my flex money, this is my savings money. But the first person you should pay is yourself. Always yourself. So typically you need to save 10%. 10% is the minimum you should save of every money that you account for at the end of the month for yourself. But you should aim for 25%. Of course, 25% will be difficult depending on how much you make. But with time, you can get there. But 10% is non-negotiable. It's the minimum you must set aside. And I will tell you what to do with this money in a bit. But this is sacrosanct. 10% of every money you make must be set aside for yourself. So I tell people who say, well, I don't make a lot. Even if you make 50K, if somehow you are surviving on 50,000 naira, you have 45,000 naira will make no difference. But setting aside that 5,000 naira every month will make a huge difference for you, and you will see why in a minute. And the way this happens is habits. You have to cultivate the habit of saving. It's very important. Habit of budgeting and then saving. So you budget and you save. When you budget, you put money aside. But budgeting must be something that you must do every month, and you must make it a habit. I've been doing this for over a decade, and I'm telling you now I can do my budget in 5 or 10 minutes max. And that if you get to 10 minutes, it means that something is coming down that I want to readjust something here or there. But it has become systematic for me. I just sit down in front of my computer, open up my Excel spreadsheet, and I already know where the money is supposed to go. So let me give another more simple way of using budgeting to solve problems that we face easily. If you pay rent in Lagos, we all live in Lagos. If you pay rent in Lagos, you know rent is expensive. Rent is one of the highest costs that we bear. But one of the mistakes that we make is we sit down and say, okay, I have paid rent because we pay rent once a year. So I have paid my rent. So I have 1 year to come up with the next one. So let me put it in the back corner and start solving other problems. But what that does is create more problems for you down the line. Because now you have 3 months to your next rent. Now you need to pay rent. Now you need to come up with 600K. And maybe you are making 3 or 400K a month. You want to come up with 2 months salary to cover 1 year rent. What happens? You become a financial difficulty. You're not even think about, oh, I need to go and borrow. And once you start borrowing, you start getting into trouble. So what do? You've paid your rent. Your rent is 600K a month. Every month, you put 50K aside for your next rent. So you divide that 600 by 12, 50,000 naira every month in your budget. You go into a separate account that you do not touch for rent. If you do that for 12 months, by the end of the 12 months, you will have more than 600,000 because you get some interest. And if you are very savvy, you can actually, let's not go there. But if you are very savvy, you can leverage treasury bills and even multiply that money. By the time rent is due for rent, and you might have 700K extra money that you can then use for something else. The same thing with your school fees. Your children have school fees. School fees is paid every term. But then you can divide it by, take the full term annual fee, divide it by 12, set that money aside every month, goes into a separate account there also. This is how budgeting helps you solve problems. And when you begin to put that, then you have separate accounts for separate things that you need to do. And when that time is ready, when the rent is due, if you just see the money is there, you don't have to sweat. You just go there, pay your money and move on. When school fees is due, just go to school fees and pay school fees and move on. I have a free budgeting template that you can grab on my website, jp@attueyi.com/newsletter. If you sign up, you will get the budgeting template. It shows you how you budget every month, and you can use that for free. So now savings, like I said, you always pay yourself first. Because my template, for instance, automatically does 10% of the money. Once you have your total amount, you get that money. The system automatically just put 10% as savings. You see a savings item there. You can change that to 25, you can change that to 15, whatever you can do. But 10% is non-negotiable. So 10 to 25%. Why do we save? We save money for 3 things. Emergency fund, pay off debt, and investment. Those are the 3 reasons you are saving this money. You are not saving the money just to save it. You must use it. Because inflation is also killing that money like I said. As that money sits in your bank account, you're getting 5, 6, 7% interest from the bank, but inflation is 20, 30%. So what means is that you have lost, if inflation is 30% and your interest is 10%, you have lost 20% of that value of that money. Some of us don't understand how inflation works, but inflation is literally, I buy something today, it's 10 naira, next month is 20 naira, the money, my money has lost 10%, 50% value, 100% value at that point. That's what inflation does, it kills your money. So why do you need an emergency fund? An emergency fund is your personal bank account. So when we have a problem, when we need money and we don't have it, where do we go? We either go to family or friends to borrow, or we go to the bank, or pay, or Kuda and borrow. It comes with an interest rate that you then have to pay back, and you can pay it for the rest of for the next several years, depending on how much you borrow and what the interest rate is. But if you have what we call an emergency fund, it is you funding your own account that you will use when you have that emergency. And typically, they advise you 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. If you do budgeting every month, when you look at your template, you already see what your living expenses are. And then you can say, I need to save this amount times 3 or times 6. Although I tell people to aim for 12 months, because in Nigeria, if you lose your job, sometimes it can take you up to a year to find another job. And that's when the emergency fund comes in. Emergency fund is for emergencies. So school fees is not an emergency, because you have 1 year to plan for school fees. Rent is not an emergency, you have 1 year to plan for rent. My wife is pregnant, it's not an emergency. You have 9 months to plan for pregnancy. Pregnant, the emergency, I came out today, my child will not start. That's an emergency. My child developed a sickness and they say surgery, you need to deposit 300,000 naira before they start. That's an emergency. Emergencies are things that you cannot account for. But things you can account for are not emergency. If you budget properly every month, you would have accounted for them already. And to pay off debt, see, let me tell you guys something. Debt is one big factor that is going to kill you. If you don't end your debt cycle, the debt will end you. I do one coaching for people for debt management, and I've seen situations where people are seriously in debt. I have a guy that makes a lot of money, over $1 million a month, but he's over 6 million naira in debt. And he's had that debt for 6 years. But he's paying every month. The amount he has paid back is more than what the debt was 6 years ago. And he still has millions in debt. And the reason why is that the interest rate is so high. So when they give you 40% interest rate, but what they do is tell you monthly, or tell you 4% per month, you look small, but it's compounded over a year, and then it's huge. And then you are just making minimum payments. You pay for the rest of your life, you never get out of debt. So if you are in debt, you need to then start saving money to start attacking that debt strategically. And the way you get out of debt is paying more than what they expect you to pay. They expect you to pay 100K, that 100K, 70, 60, 50K might be to principal, rather than to principal, to interest. But if you pay 200, then you can charge 150 to principal and 50 to interest, your debt begins to come down. And then investing, you must save to invest, and I'll talk about investment in a bit. So there's something I always tell people. You should avoid doing a job unless there are only 2 conditions you should do a job. Because if I see you and you do a job, what will tell me that you lack financial discipline? That's what it really means. It means that I'm not able to save my own money, so I need somebody that I will give my money to hold for me, and then when the time is, they will give me back. There's lack of financial discipline. You can do that yourself. Open several bank accounts. There are many of them that are easy to deal with the fintechs. And put your money there. When it's time, you take it out. But there are only 2 reasons, 2 conditions on which you must go for you to do a job and it will make sense. Number 1, you have a particular practical stuff you want to do with that money. So I'm going to start a business. I'm saving to buy a land. It has to be very clear what you want to do with that lump sum of money. Because otherwise, that money enters your hand, you won't even know what you did with it. Before you know, go, you are giving your baby 200K, you are giving you are bought a new watch or and they use iPhone. The money is gone, 1.2 million gone. You don't even know what you do. So you must know what exactly you want to do with this money. The second condition, you must be paid first. If you are not paid first, open yourself to all manner of risk. What if the person dies? What if you have paid for 11 months, you get to your door, the 12 months, 4 months, and you go to pay the what? There's so much risk exposed, you are exposing yourself to when you can lock this money yourself in your bank account. And I always tell people, use your 9 to 5 to fund your exit. When I say this, people think I mean quit your job. No, I'm not saying quit your job. I'm saying that as you save, you save money, as you work, you set money aside and you used to develop yourself, or used to invest in other things that will fund you. Because one day you can wake up and your boss will say, services are no longer needed, or your company has been sold, you need to move along. So use your 95 to fund your exit. Debt to family and friends damage credibility. When you borrow money from family and friends, a lot of us don't pay back. A lot of us feel, and I don't have, they should understand. But many of you have been bought for 5K, 10K. Somebody lent you 10,000 naira, you didn't pay back. You can't come back to him or her. You see them, things go bad just because of small money. So if you are owing family and friends, you have to strategically look for a way to start setting money aside, to pay them back, even if it's small. Pay this money back. It's not free. You said you wanted to borrow it. You didn't say you should dash it. Think about that. Debt to financial institutions enslaves you today. So my family and friend penalty is damaging of the relationship. For financial institution is higher because it will damage you financially. You will be in debt and you become a slave to them. Like I told you, I know someone has been paying the debt for 6 years religiously and is still owing millions because he is indebted to them, become a slave to them. That's literally what it is once he gets out of that debt. End your debt or it will end you. Again, I have 3 templates that you can use for paying back debt to family and friends or paying back debt to financial institutions. It's grabbed out of my website, jpattueyi.com/newsletter. Now, investing. I talked about investing in yourself. Yourself is the very first person that you should invest in. You make sure that you have better knowledge, make sure that you have better skills, that you can then use to project yourself to get more money. One of the reasons I wrote this book, Don't Capital, No Problems and Evil, is that a lot of people say, oh, I don't have money. I don't have money is why they have not started a side hustle. But money is not the most important reason, the most important factor to start a side hustle. It's not. Some of us spend most of our time watching football on a Saturday. Today is Saturday and I see a lot of guys here. I'm happy because a lot of times from 11 o'clock a.m. to 8 p.m. we're watching football. You know, they'll do the pre-football and they'll do the pre-football, the first game, the second game, the third game, the post-match analysis. The whole of the Saturday is gone. I don't have time, but that's time that you have to watch that. Then on Tuesday you do Champions League, on Wednesday you do Champions League, on Thursday you do Europa League. On Friday you do Friday night football again. And then Saturday again you do all day again. Sunday you do Sunday football again. But you don't have time. So that time thing, you just forget it. There is time. You just don't know. You have just chosen to trade your time for football. The second thing is money. I don't have money. There's so many things you can do for money. Without money, so many business side hustles you can start without money. So you start a side hustle, you test it, and then you expand it. For ideas of side hustle, you can start with little or no money. Check out my people, look at no problem. So don't forget to grab a copy of my book, Rich Young and African. It's a practical guide to wealth creation. It was written to teach Nigerians or Africans how we can actually leverage money making in our own context. Most of them are written to the European or the American context, but this was written specifically for Africans. It's available on several Amazon and Google nights. I will have autograph copies today at 25% off if you want them. I know there's a question and answer session, so I will leave the questions to that session. We can answer any questions that we have. If you want to follow me on social media, these are my social media handles: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. JP. I know you guys are clapping for this. That's the same happy. You clap yourself. When it comes to money, the way Nigerians are always so happy to clap, the way you are so happy to clap, thank you very much, Mr. JP Attueyi. That was very, very precise and well connected. We talked about investment. He said, don't do CPX, so don't do CPX, so MMM is not part of the investment. So the money does go. What is it? Sporty is not part of financial literacy. You said some people are working football. They are putting on their sporting bet. See, you change the day, sporting bet. Make my game sharp. I want to chop 25 million. Make this for best. I'm a gift for that. And job some of you, most especially ladies, that do like 5 and join the week, 2K, 3K, 4K, 5K. Like 20 and just the week, no job. Like 20 and just the week, no job. First time was knowledge. There are two reasons why you must do a job, right? According to Mr. J. Attueyi. That's the second one. Sir, you said there are 3 reasons why you save. You did not have one. We save for savings to also save us. I saved 1,000 as well. The next day, sir, it was the savings that saved me.
That's my emergency fund.
You know that kind of hunger. But some people that might get that to big I am begging big investment. Who is it just give me my after you have saved it. After you have saved it, you just start begging. You start writing letter. And I like big investment. Big investment will not give you your money. You be like crying. You just have big report, medical report of that sickness. Talking from experience. You have to carry for that medical report. So for me, you have OP, PAMPay, all the OPs in the world. Who's not going to have savings there? It is debt that you have there. They fall you to the extent that now they are calling your debt and coming for you to come and pay your debt. Please pay your debt. Thank you very much, Mr. JP Attueyi, for that very related. You have a question, but can we just put the question and answer section? Yes, after the panel section. So please just note that when you can exit now and give it to me now. So after the panel section. I'm supposed to take without stories, but I think I want to take without stories, right? So please, I would like our parents to just indulge us for the next 5 to 10 minutes for doing that story, so that it also form part of our conversations when we come on board as panelists. Who knows, when the prizes for those who are going to check their own stories. So I'll be taking the first, please come out so you can see your face. Please, have a policeman as you come forward to share our entire story.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry, how many minutes? Okay, thank you very much. I would say that it's a life to be interesting. I mean, it's getting interesting. Thank you very much, sir, for that. My reference story. Okay. I don't know if everyone here knows me, but I am a co-leader of the company and the past president of reference story or company. Okay, thank you. Oh, okay, so I joined the product 2020. Yes. I was still in school, and after that time, there was this woman. I knew her like way back. I didn't know that she's an interior girl, she's part of any interior organization. So I knew her way back. So one day she just messaged me. I was in my house. She just messaged me and said, "Korea, why you know that I want you to join an organization." Although she knows that I can't really, and I'm an indoor person, I'm introvert,
wanted that progress. She just said that I want to join this organization. I'm like, man, you know that is not church. I'm not really interested. Not saying, no, this is not bad. Like, I know you are a youth, you are agile, and you are active and all those stuff. So I thought if I do, I would do this about it because I've not done any of those kind of things before. So I gave it a try. When I got to know who she was the president of my sponsoring club at that time, 2020. So she was about to hand over as a manager. So she now said that she wants to invite me to their handing over. When I got there, a lot of things attracted me. When I got to that handing over, number one, all of the money we were talking about, dollars, $20. I'm like, I don't understand. That this month I'm not working. That is the kind of organization I was doing. And I didn't know that you're not about the Rotary Foundation, you know, which foundation is about dollars. I'm like, this organization, I'm just getting $70. No, I don't have money. Another thing that now attracted me was the way they were like, they were networking, the way they, you know, everybody felt like family. I'm like, well, again, this one is a good one. And then also the heads. You know, my first time going to chicken and all this. So I gave it a try, and then I got to know that it is not their club, it's your kids, our own club. So that was when my club was of course chapter founded. Yeah, we started. What she was doing outside was to just gather some people together so that we can start, and the likes of me are coming in all those. Okay, so I just want to tell us that. Okay, we are talking about interactors. Rotaract is our perspective. Rotaract is an organization that has built a personal. And I can say it. Before now, I guess everybody has this experience. Before now, you cannot talk like this in front of crowds or this. And I was that kind of person. I was always myself, you know. I don't want to be on the spotlight. I don't want anybody to see me. But joining Rotaract has given me this boldness, you know, where you can come and the fact that nobody will shame how they say shame, nobody you, I don't know. Nobody will tell you what you're doing is wrong. Even if they tell you sometimes, yeah, you can. It's only if you want to be annoyed. So people tell you because they want you to be annoyed. But if you take it to heart, that's when you can be annoyed. But if you take every opportunity to learn, of course, you will also know that this wouldn't mean the bad people said. So Rotaract is a place, if you give it politics, it's also it's important to focus on the fun aspect. But more importantly, seminars like this, programs like this also help us where you can come and learn, and then what you're learning you can pass it on to others out there. One of the reasons why people want to join your organization is how you put yourself out there. If you're only telling them that it's all about the fun, some people are not the fun type. Some people want to have value, and when they see that you're only posting, you're only showing them what is fun, but you're not showing them how you are making success in that organization. Success is the voice. I mean, success is a voice that can speak to people even if you don't be able to speak to them. And being Rotaract is an organization that has developed me professionally, yes, and also has sharpened my leadership skills. I became president of my club last year. Yes, last year 2024, and of course, I was thankful actually. It was a year of, a lot of things that you wouldn't know that you can do. Good. So, Rotaract as a way of making you, agile and all this. That's a way of making you hard and get results. Really, I was talking with Dr. Adam, president of this Dr. Adam said, when I was the president, that when you're the president, do you usually do things yourself? Like your members will not be there. I said, I think that's why you are the leader. Yes, most times you have to be hard. I mean, you have once you do it, you will do it because you know that whatever is worth doing is worth doing well. So leadership, one of the leadership traits, one of the leadership traits of plenty is how to rise up to take up your responsibility. If you agree to be the president, then you have to do it all it takes. If you agree to be I let the governor by a local Presbyterian that Rotary is a volunteer organization. But once you become a member, it's no longer voluntary. I mean, you have to give it all it takes because you chose to be a member. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So I thank God for my Rotary, my president here, and I thank God for every success. Yes, and I want to say that for the prospective members here, Rotary is a good place to be. Please choose your circle wisely. I mean, people you can learn from, people you can go with. Choose your circle wisely, and also keep it your best. Thank you very much.
You are not wrong. You guys are very bad. But Peter told us, she don't release book for us on what is Rotary. Come e-book for us on what is Rotary. For Peter Richards, what I can learn from the public before, please have my personal please. Thank you very much. Okay, so the second person I'm taking is Rotary Fatima. Please can you step forward and God give us a Rotary story. She's from District 9111. She will give us a Rotary story. And we will enjoy it. And after that, we are diving straight in to the panel section. Did you guys go to Nigeria? We have today's International Day of Girl Child. And I did not call any guys, I have to just give it to them. I got two beautiful ladies. So let's give it up to our first man. Thank you.
Panelists, interactors, friends. I'm the first man from the South of Journalism. District 9. Okay. My class theory. I'll just sorry. I joined the class in 2015 when I was in school AC. Before I joined, I attended a few programs, school programs, internet programs. Then I was like, I'm not interested in this, I just like as a student there, what is more important is the entertainment of and the gift package. So every Wednesday, I will attend the give us drinks and food. But I did join. So yeah, 2015, it was 2016, I was introduced to another community base as a journalist central. And I saw what's it called? Students union. We were president, secretary, treasurer, and I'm like, kind of things. Why do you have elites in this kind of club? I attended this. Then 2016, I was to visit when they were having vocational training. So they had SIs being Costa Rica. I attended training. I learned few things. I basically chose Costa Rica because I believe it's not regular, it's not common. So when I joined, someone said to me, if you want to build yourself, this is where you can start from. Either through skill or intellectual. And I reasoned towards the mindset. I realized that those presidents, general secretary, during that time in school, they are always they are dressing and the way they speak. I feel like, okay, let's see how it is. If it's profitable to me, because I can't dress up won't be able to get anything from 2 months, 3 months. I don't even know how it started. I can't, in a week, I'm meeting them every Sunday. Every month, first Sunday, and I think second Sunday, every month you say, I'm going to meet him, I'm going to meet him. I'm like, which is very distant. I learned how to make custard making, I learned Barbie also. Then my dressing changed because when you are in this caliber of people, you have to have a positive, you have to be positive. You know, your dressing, the way you speak, and what you have mentally. You have to be at the front. So when I joined, I told my friend that this is that. They are always shouting, they are always doing party, they are always doing this. And me, I'm the kind of person that then, if I go to party, I'm just looking at you. Just whatever I want to do, just I'm looking at my own. But now, I just feel. Well, now, yeah, I'm driving. So, basically, main reason why I joined the church was because I was able to gain some knowledge, skills, so I interact with our perspective. Like interact like she said, let's join you guys. Let's join the guys. Let's choose our friends. Don't let them choose us. Let them know that okay. Just use yourself. Be sure that this person wants to be friends. I'll be able to get something from this person. Not the other way. Even if the other is fine. But what do you want to give? Is it that you want to get to somewhere and be like, don't talk to her, or don't talk to him. This person doesn't have anything upstairs. You can't get anything from this person. Even if you are kind of competent as a person, it doesn't make, what you're saying doesn't make sense. Really hard to someone. You can't just be saying things just like, I want to be saying, I want them to know me, I want them to feel my presence. But does it add to society? Does it make sense to you? What you say, does it make sense to you? You can't just be everywhere without adding anything to it. Thank you.
You don't know what's the level of the party is. You don't know what's the level of the party. Thank you. No, I don't know party. In case you don't know, I don't like the party. So, quickly we go to the conversation, and at this point in time, I would like us to open our minds and our hearts to our resourceful panelists. Let us be ready to learn. Let us be ready to change our mindset. There might be some thought-provoking conversations that are coming up, that are questions on the things we know, that might have to shake some of the things we know. So let us open our mindset for it to actually learn something, for it to actually be our us as we continue to do this. So I would like to invite once again our moderator for the panel section, why she introduces our panelists. Please let us join us together for a moment and so comes forward.
All right, good morning again, everyone. So I'll be bringing presentation of panelists in personal material. Abayomi, Oluwambe, Shokolale, Oluwambe, Abayomi is a seasoned graphic designer and a creative manager with 18 years of professional experience in visual communication, brand management, and digital design. Known for its creativity, leadership, and attention to detail, it has consistently delivered high-quality visual solutions that strengthen brand presence and drive organizations. Currently, the manager at Reality Sports Brings Oshomole Lagos, Abayomi leads a creative team in developing designs for corporate publications, brochures, magazines, and marketing materials. It also brings quality, project budget, and production schedules, ensuring each project meets both creative and technical excellence. Previously, he served as the creative department as the head at Leverage Communications, where he managed key client accounts and led campaigns for organizations such as Lagos State Public Works Corporation and Rotary International District 9110. His earlier experience at CMC Connect and Ogene Prince Limited honed his skills in brand identity, design, production management, and client engagement. Rotary Abayomi holds a BSc in Entrepreneurial and Business Management from the National Open University of Nigeria and a National Diploma in Business Administration from Rufus Giwa Polytechnic. He is proficient in Corel Draw, AI tools, and distribution. Driven by passion and purpose, he continues to seek opportunities to apply his creative expertise and leadership experience in environments that values excellence, impact, and growth. Fellow characters, Rotarians, friends, and guests of Rotary, please let's give it up for Rotary Abayomi. Alright, second panelist for today is Rotary Emmanuel Onoshase. Rotary Emmanuel Onoshase is a chartered accountant and a senior associate accountant in a leading accounting firm in Nigeria. He is a sought-after financial consultant for various complaints, providing valuable guidance and support to businesses and individuals alike. Rotary Emmanuel holds a Bachelor of Science degree in accounting from Olabisi Onabanjo University, where he developed strong foundation in financial principles and practices. He followed his education by earning a Master of Business Administration with a specialization in finance from Obafemi Awolowo University in Ife, a prestigious institution renowned for its academic excellence. He is an associate member of the Institute of Child Accountants of Nigeria. Dr. Emmanuel's professional experience spans multiple fields, including accounting, taxation, human resource management, and brand management. Dr. Emmanuel's journey with Rotary began in 2015, and he was inducted into Rotary's With an unwavering passion for service to humanity, Dr. Emmanuel is committed to positively impacting communities around the world through various material initiatives. He is a member and 38th irresistible president of the Rotary Club of America and currently serves as district manager for District 9111. Fellow characters, materials, friends, and representatives, we welcome Dr. Emmanuel. And yes, our last panelist for today is Mr. Attueyi Attueyi. Also, I'm going to be joining as the moderator, and I think I'll introduce myself before I introduce you. I am the director of the Rotary Club of Lagos. Thank you. Good morning, analysts. Good morning. Good morning to everyone again. So, before we dive into questions, to make the panel I'm going to say what to get.
Okay, thank you, Rachel. First, let me acknowledge the GRF, the chair of this seminar, the panelists, the factors, guests and friends. Well, I think we compare all the other services that welcome address of the year was more like a guest speaker of the seminar. And it's also interesting that compare losing stories, which also give an insight about the topic of the day, which is talking about leadership. I think the most important thing is for us to know how the process. It's not only to bring people to or prospect to mutual. The most important thing is to retain them. After retaining them, then ensure that the growth continues. And that's when we talk about extension. So it's important to know the process. Like the question I think we compare also asked, which is a very important question that some of us who are deliberate, intentional about bringing people to the fold, you normally hear is, because we are Nigerian, there's nothing we want to do. The first thing you ask is, what is my benefit? And that sometimes, even when I was in the practice, this is kind of question that I try to run away from. Because truth of the matter is I'm not going to pay you. And average Nigeria wants to hear about money, and the benefits. You can't ask them to come to a meeting, do projects. Even at the rotary level, when you approach anybody, the first thing they tell you that people are millionaires now. Meanwhile, I'm not a millionaire, so I can't join you. How do you converse to these such people? But interestingly, I think some of us, we don't prioritize the objective, the goals of the talent. It is interesting to know that we all, prioritize form, which is the last stage of the purpose of the talent. The basic definition of the talent is just a platform where young people come together to develop their leadership and professional skills and our form, the lasting. But this lasting is what we bring forward. This is a seminar where after you. Okay. So this is a platform where you prioritize your leadership and professional skills. And this is the kind of seminar that we talk about, developing leadership skills. But look at it all. This is a free seminar, free seminar, you don't need to pay. But let it be an installation ceremony where you will pay 10,000 naira to get it. You will buy it, your tailor will sew it, and you will spend like 40,000, and the package will tell you the money. It's just displacement of priorities. So I think we need to prioritize the purpose and goals while we join this organization. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. First and foremost, I want to thank you guys for taking our time to be here. I decided to come to this occasion because for me, I try to give back, and the way I give back is to share knowledge. Some things that I know today, I wish I knew 20 years ago, right? 20 years ago, I didn't have a mentor, I didn't have someone that would show me the way. So I've had to learn a lot of things the hard way, and I have now been forced to not forced, but I'm not compelled to give back to whoever wants to take, because sometimes you don't show things that people show. But there are two things I just want to add to what he has said. That if you invite, you will set yourself apart in this country. Two things, and they're very simple to implement. Very, very simple to implement. The second one is not very simple, but once you get the hang of it, it becomes very simple. And the first one is time management. See, we say it's African time, we say Nigerian time, we have conditioned ourselves to say if something is supposed to be done at 10 o'clock, we should show up at 11. But I want you to know that the average Nigerian, therefore, does not have the ability to be somewhere on time. And it plays into everything that we do, not just a seminar like this, your workplace, your business associates. This will continue to replicate itself across your life when you don't stick to time. I grew up in Nigeria. I was supposed to move abroad to school because of my daughter's scholarship. They didn't have my family who supported my travel and my stay. But I have lived significant, I spent 12 years in the US and then came back to Nigeria. And this time thing is something that we as a people have adopted by default as the normal way of doing things. But when you go to Sierra Klein, where a train leaves at 10 o'clock and if they are 10:01 you miss it, then that means you're not going to get to your appointment on time. There are consequences for lack of time management. But yet there is none. So if there is none, I'm saying to you, invite time, keeping time, on being on time to everything or anywhere you are doing or you are supposed to be, and you set yourself apart from 99% of Nigerians. So that's just number one. Cost you nothing. All it does is you just taking a little extra time to go where you need to be and get there on time. I got here quite early. I was told to be here for 10. I was here earlier when I came. This place was empty. I'm glad to see people now because I would have really been disappointed that I came here. I wasn't paid to be here. I came here to share this knowledge free of charge, and then to find nobody would have been very disheartening for me. So I'm glad that you did eventually show up. But keep the time. It will set you apart. The second thing is integrity. You see, the earnestness of Nigeria has compelled us to find ways to cut corners, to cheat the system, to cheat people. I know people that have started businesses that were killed by their own employees simply because the employee was stealing from the business. So somebody has putting money into a business to employ people and is paying you a salary and you are killing the business because we don't have integrity. And then he backs up and he goes and maybe you benefited from stealing from him, but 50 other people have lost jobs. So integrity. I tell people that integrity is a premium product in Nigeria, and if you imbibe it, ultimately somebody will pay your premium price. You will stand apart. They will know you as that guy or that girl that does not do the Nigerian way. I used to work for a company, not there anymore now. And I was a chief information officer of the company. And the JP was known as the guy that, nobody says, he's an American. And they think different. So they justify why you are different. But I'm telling you that this is not a country thing. This is an individual thing. There are many people with integrity in this country. We just see a lot of people that don't have, and we think everybody does not have. And so all of us now begin to force ourselves to go that way. But I'm just saying to you, step aside and tell yourself, I will be different. I will have integrity. I will do things differently. People will test you. People will tempt you. People will avoid you. People will remove you from conversations because they don't know what you may do. But they shield you from potential problems. That's the way I see it. I remember I was telling someone, they said, in certain meetings you will not be there. And I said, that's good. Let me not be there. Shield me from those temptations. Because now you think that I'm not one of you. And so that's great. Leave me in the path where I am not having to get my hand dirty. Because let me tell you ultimately, when you get your hand dirty, tomorrow, that's what they will use to come back and remove you. And sometimes you don't even know when you get involved. Two people I used to give you an example. If you remember Kemi Adeosun, I don't know if you know this lady, and the former minister of finance, what did they use to take her out? NYSC. Now, she didn't work in Nigeria, and I can tell you, because I have seen it, this is what they do. I'm very sure, I don't know her story, but I can project what has happened to this lady. She lived abroad, she went over 30 years abroad, she came back to Nigeria, and somebody says to her, we'll organize the NYSC for you. It's very simple, don't worry. There's a process. and they will do it for you, and then they will keep a copy. The day you don't play to their tone anymore, that's the day you come out, and then you are gone. They will destroy you. That's what they do. That's what we do. So when people come to you to guide you, to show you how the enormous of our country is, run away, because they will still use it to destroy you tomorrow. Today now, we are sending Naji, Minister of Science and Technology, another minister, who has not had to step down because he did not graduate from the university he claimed he went to. You can only get away for it for so long. Somebody will destroy you with it. So, imbibe integrity, keep on time. Thank you.
Hello. The chairperson for this fellow directors, veterans, PL, fellow directors, present guests of the team. Okay, thank you for the opportunity to be part of the panelists at Alexander Protein. Thank you very much for that. Let me pick from where Mr. JP starts. Time. A famous English writer, every word says something. She said, punctuality is the virtue of the board. You know, when people, she said, when people come in, it's always because they are bored. But then she further to explain why she said it. You know, in my own sense, punctuality is not the virtue of the board. We don't compare because we have nothing to do. I was in a doctor yesterday. I left the house as early as 6 a.m. Got back to Lagos around 10 p.m. And I had to wake up very early slow to be here for this program today. I mean, today's Saturday. I can be in my house, sleeping and resting after planning for the work yesterday. So, punctuality in those times, we know that all the time it's also we have, this thing of coming very late in programs. But I think this is an important support to talk to ourselves. The time for us to stop coming late to events and programs. Even our blood fellowships, we say the program is for 3:30, it's after we start coming in to training around for 30. Right. So punctuality, when you're punctual to a function, it shows your competence. It shows that yes, you are ready to be part of this event. It also shows respect, right? Not to the organizers, but then you do not require people, you don't expect people to really accord you with much respect when you're always formulating functions. It's against the point that people will be pitched up already. We might imagine you might SMI to speak for 10, and yes, you're waiting for your SMI to 11. I mean, by the time you come in, you feel like, oh, I'm not sure this man has the integrity, or I should accord the respect that is always deserved. But imagine the guest speaker coming early, and we interact on the here to act from the person and coming very late. So I mean, timeliness, please let us do better as writers. Speaking to the topic for today, the team membership, grow with purpose, drive with passion, retain with impact. It was today I got to know that Dr. Fatima is already 10 years in retirement. And I know I can see Dr. Uwe Shomina, who has spent 15 years in retirement as well. Right. We know we have interactors today that are around 15. So imagine somebody that has joined an organization even before your birth. Myself as well, I joined retirement in 2015 when I was in Norway. I was in 2015. So I think 10 years already. And then we asked ourselves, for the past 10 years, what have we been doing? Why are we still here? If we do not see the value in this organization, we won't be here today. I'm still a director, and I'm still very much active in the analysis. Yes, from the very beginning, we stepped back at a point. I hated coming for the functions. Let me just be my house. But at the point I thought that let me explore more, let me connect with people. So we are in this organization because we have a sense of value that this organization sells to us. When people tell us, in general, it's only about what's on them to get. Right? It's not about, someone will say, are they giving you money there? Are they paying you to be a result? When my neighbors see me, they don't see me as like a week, they're like, man, you're going to yeah. And they ask me, do you get paid for traveling around to be an Abedita? And I live in Lagos. Imagine being a president of Abedita, I live in Lagos, it sounds right. But they ask me, to be an Abedita tomorrow and that location, what is happening? What do we gain from this thing? Yes, there are a lot of things to gain. And while people were sharing that story, they shared what they gained personally. What I gain as a interactor will be different from what the general gain as a interactor. We got the opportunity to travel out, right, to Switzerland, right. I haven't traveled through Rotaract, but then I've actually gained a lot of things through Rotaract. Probably speaking about, I was also a very shy person, introvert. I was very introverted. Even till today, I have so much reserve, right, because I don't speak much. I've been one of the very few words, right. So, probably speaking, professional development, right. There are people you meet in life, there are people I've met personally that even though for Rotaract, I did not have gotten that opportunity. I was speaking to someone yesterday, I said, in my job, we have two commissioners. The commissioner for women affairs and the commissioner for housing. So imagine as a interactor, and I need anything from any commissioner in the state. I could go through my job, meet with them, when I'm commissioner, I need this. You can't, if I was not a interactor, I won't have that leverage or that privilege to say, oh, because commissioners are not people you can just walk into the office and say, we need a one-on-one time with them, right? So Rotaract gives us a lot of opportunities. And for intended interactors, for interactors, I think don't let the journey stop as an interactor. I think Rotaract Constance as well, she's went from Interact to Rotaract, and we all know she's a wonderful people. We are still enjoying the benefits of our being Rotaract. So let the journey continue. There are a lot of things you can do. There are a lot of things you can benefit from being here. So thank you very much. As a progress.
Thank you very much, please, let's get a round of applause. Thank you very much. Since everybody's talking about the whole years of being with her, I was very serious. But I think you guys were like, oh, you know, this month makes it 4 years. That's interesting. It's something you can clap for. Alright, thank you very much. So, we should have the need for people to ask their questions. People to ask their questions to our panelists. So I've been able to collect all of these questions. And if you still have any questions for our panelists, please, you can write it down and raise it. Please just write it down and suggest for us. Thank you very much. Alright, so the first question is directed to Rotarian Attueyi. And this question is, it's simple, and the person said, what does impact beyond self truly mean into this world?
Okay, thank you for the question. I think some of us don't, like I said earlier, we don't prioritize the purpose of the result. And the impact of service is so enormous. Why some of us were talking about our years in Rotaract, and Dr. Fatima came outside to say that she joined Rotaract 2016, and I smiled. That was the year I served as a district representative to Switzerland in 2010. During that year, in the course of visiting some Rotaract as part of our official meetings, I visited this Rotaract of AB. I can't forget that project. The president and members of that took me to the place where you see all these dumb and deaf people. And when it was very bad, I can't forget. And and they sound, it was, you be thinking they are professionals, but they're not professionals. They can't even see. It has bad as that. And God, in fact, it was a club that wanted to carry out people. I was forced as a representative to also commission people there with my board members. These are projects that you cannot see. There are some certain things, like my co-panel said, there are stages in life that what you do is just to give, not to get any more. You just want to impact in life. There are a lot of things that some of us are regretting are doing more at our age in life that we are just getting to do now. That's the platform that I have to give to you. So impacting the community with science projects is one thing that you will be using the local platform. Things that you cannot even do individually. But collectively, with your club members, with the district, you can impact more people. And that will give you that leverage, that fulfillment that you desire to do in your community. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Now this next question is directed to JP Attueyi. And this question is from Contractor Salam. She said, how can young professionals create a realistic project when their income is inconsistent?
Now, see, like I said, budgeting is monthly. So what that does, and please, I don't know if you had a chance, when you open up the template that I shared to you guys for free, you will see that at the top left, it tells you to list your income, your multiple income, whether it's 1, 2, or whatever it may be, you list what they are at the beginning of the month. So maybe this month I made 50K, I'll put my 50K there. Then when you come to the bottom, you will see a list of things that I can anticipate that you need to do for that month, like feeding, DST, food, transportation, fuel for your generator, stuff like that. They're all listed there. You see, what budgeting does is it forces you to determine what are your needs versus what are your wants. That's what budgeting really does. So the month I have 50K, for instance, and I'm able to set aside 5K for eating out that month. And the month I have 30K, eating out becomes 0. Doesn't mean I won't eat in home. I can still eat at home, but I won't be able to eat outside for that month. That's really what it is. You will look back at the budget and say, okay, this, because first and foremost, remember, paying yourself is not negotiable. So if you are making 50K this month, it means that 10K is already gone to pay yourself. So what you really have left is 40K. It's that 40K that you will use to do a budget and decide how you will spend it. But you see, the point of doing budgeting is not because you make a lot of money. So people think it's when I have a lot of money that I can do a budget. No. If you cannot manage 100,000 naira today, I give you 1 million naira, you will be able to manage it either. Habits. I said it in my presentation. We do not rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our habits. Check any habit you have. It's difficult to shake. That's why they say, oh, he has a bad habit. He has a bad habit. She has a bad habit. It's difficult to shake because it has been programmed in your brain that this is what you do when this happens. So with that thing triggered, your brain automatically triggers you to do that you're supposed to do that in a bad habit. So if you create a habit of budgeting, it doesn't matter how much you make. You will be forced to always account for your money before you start spending. It may not be enough, but you will be forced to decide what can I sacrifice this month. And next month when it comes up, what can I flex on? So it's not about the amount, it's not about the how often that money comes, but when it comes, it must be accounted for. Tell your money where to go so you don't wonder where it went. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Speaking of 100K, we have two questions here on 100K. So the first one is, how earning below 100K. Still on that 100K, someone said, how can someone that earn 100K or less survive?
Very important.
See, let me tell you guys something. And I don't want to downplay the difficulties that we as Nigerians are going through today. Our minimum wage is 70,000 naira, so many people are making less than that. So people are 70,000 naira that means they're making 30,000 naira a month. There are two ways to come out of this. Again, it can sound like a broken record. You start with budgeting. When you budget, you determine what your wants are versus what your needs are against your income. That's number one. Number two, you are paying less than 100,000 naira because the economy is hard. Country is very true. I don't want to say, but in addition to those economic diseases that is making life difficult for the average Nigerian, if you want to be honest with yourself, you also lack skills. You lack an adequate skill in leverage to make money. This is the truth. So if you're a gatesman, they require no skill. It's just opening and closing gates. There's nothing hard there. And madam shouting at you or guy backing at you, and you say yes sir and yes ma'am. And maybe you wash her. There's not much skill there. So your ability to make more money is minimal. So that 100,000 naira, remember I said 10% of your money must be saved every month. So just take that 100K to be that you are making 90K every month. That 10K is going to a savings account you do not touch. It is for investment. But the investment here is not land buying because you don't have enough money to buy land. It's not building a house. It's not starting a poultry. You don't have enough capital to do that. What it is to create a skill you will monetize. Let me tell you guys a story, my story. I came from very humble family. Lost my dad when I was 4 years old. Family of 10, I was number 9. So my mother was one of the most hardworking people I've ever seen in my life. That woman did incredible things to ensure that we made it. Coupled with the time when my elder siblings started getting older, started working, and then started supporting putting back into the family. But there's one thing I learned from my elder brother. He says, these projects that are specific, time bound, and require commitment from the person is putting into. This is what my brother said. When I graduated from school, secondary school, he paid for me to do SAT. SAT is the American version of our JAM, right? And that was how I got the scholarship to go to study abroad and I moved to the US, right? Now, while I was in the US, I knew that my family was not going to be able to be sending me money from Nigeria. Because, like I said, I came from humble beginning, right? So my father was not the guy who did that. The rich men are politician now, they send us from the brothers and we wire money to them. I didn't have that resources. The moment I went with me to the US, no family and friends, nobody, absolutely nobody. I knew that was all I had. If that only finishes, it's finished. That's it, right? So your brain begins to think survival. See, a lot of us are not being in survival mode. That's why we are struggling so hard. We are waiting on a helper. He's not coming. We are praying that miracle falls on you. I don't want to downplay your miracle, but it may not come. What I'm saying is you have to get into desperate mode to say, how do I get out of this lesson and begin? So you look inward and say, what skill do I have that I can leverage? Some of us have no skills. You know how to braid hair. Don't do it because it will hit you. You know how to cook. knows, who can boost the impact and say to your fellow students or your colleagues, you have skills. When you sit on it and just wait for that special big office, no special helper that will come and bless you. But when I was in school, I started thinking, how am I going to survive? There's only finishes, I'm dead, I'm done. You know? So one day, I'm going to the door, and this girl from Trinidad is coming out of the door with a backpack. And I'm like, where are you going? Just stop the conversation. She said, I'm going to work. Now, as an international student in the US, we are not allowed to work more than 20 hours a week. That's number one. Number two, we are also not allowed to work on campus. So you have to work on campus, which restricts the amount of work you can do. So you are restricted by time and place. So that's another hindrance right there. So when she says she's going to work, she's contributing that, I automatically know she has a job on campus, right? And so I asked her, what do you do? She says she teaches math. They pay you to teach you math. Yes, where? Student center. Math is my favorite subject. Please, can I find out? She said, yeah, show me the guy. She took me there and showed me the man that was in charge. And the man hired me. Was paying me $5.50 an hour, which is minimum wage. Don't convert it to naira, it is a lot of money, but then it was so money. But from that income, within a year, I got my first car, it cost me $2,000. I'm saying to you that it's not how much you make, it's what you make of how much you make. And when you are low income, you lack skill, or you have skills that you have not monetized, you have to look inward and find how to monetize that.
And this person is saying, what are the top 3 skills that will be most valuable in my desired career 5 years from now? So this person didn't mention a particular career, but then is asking, what are those top 3 skills I need to develop if I want to pursue a career for the next 5 years?
All right, thank you very much for that question. For every chosen profession, let me just go down. Firstly, it's always important to ensure that the first skill you're developing is the skill that directly speaks to what's your career objective or future plan is. Now, as an individual, it's always good for you to map out your life. For the next 5 years, what do I want to do? Or where do I see myself in the next 5 years? If I'm an accountant, and then I journal I can, or the required certifications that will help you to grow in that career. It is important that you ensure that you find every means to develop, resolve in that aspect. Certifications or education, probably additional education in that regard. Not just saying, oh, we have PhD in accounting. I always say, PhD in accounting means you are an accountant. The word chartered comes from your qualification. A friend of mine, let's say a friend of mine, graduated from University University, PhD in engineering. And someone was saying, congratulations, Enoch. I said, oh, his name is not Enoch again, he's not engineer Enoch. I just smiled and said, you only have a PhD in engineering. You don't have NC, you don't have Korean. NSC, right? So you don't have NSC. You don't have to go and say engineer. You can't be not an engineer. You are just a graduate of engineering. So it's always important that you get a certification with them. That's one. 2, emotional intelligence. Because for you to grow in every workplace, you need to have emotional intelligence. Because how do you relate to your colleagues? How do you relate to your friends? How do you relate to your bosses at work? I've had jobs, I've taken on, and I think myself, I can't be in this space. Because when you are the only one who is mentally stable in a place of work, you just have to exist. Right? But then, yes, you have to have emotional intelligence, which is very important. How do you relate to people? Even your flat, the way you relate to people around you, it's very important. So that's skill that can help you advance right in your career. the way you can easily network with people determines whether you are staying long in the organization or not. Because in every organization, there's always a purpose. There is one manager that is always favored by, a particular person. She just gets promotions within months, and there is someone in that organization that spent 2 years who is not getting promoted. It's always very good for you to, be able to network and connect yourself within your organization. If not, you'll be left behind. Right? So these are the 3 things: get the necessary skills, that is expression of the dead, emotional intelligence, and networking. So I think that's what we're talking about.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. I'm seeing what I'm talking about. Now, this person is talking about pressure. Pressure from different things, pressure from society, pressure from social media. Now, this particular question is pressure from social media. And this person said, how can young people handle the pressure of comparing their progress with others in today's social media age? Now, the pressure of coming from social media, how can they handle it?
All right, thank you. There's a difference between reality and abstract. Social media is abstract. Your life is reality. When you're on social media, when you spend out of 24 hours, spend 10 hours on social media, you're not yourself. Because you are looking at the lives of others and you want to mirror that to yourself, which will work. It's always very important as individuals to track your progress. Yes, you are saying someone posts that they just got a car. You don't know the story behind that car, whether it is a car part of the world. There's a very popular TikToker who got a car with 35 million naira and only deposited 8 million or thereabouts. Am I correct? So you saw that car and you were like, God, I'm taking Uber, I'm trekking for how many years. See my mates, don't say GLE. Meanwhile, the guy is alone. So look at your own reality and ask yourself, am I making progress personally? Is my today better than my yesterday? The Emmanuel I am today compared to the Emmanuel I was last month, what is the difference? Right? What is the difference? Develop yourself, read books, network, connect with people of like minds, get a mentor. Forget about the abstract social media, look at yourself, mirror your life. Get mentors or people around you who can help you track your progress. Am I making progress? Am I making impact within myself? Social media, we keep social media. Now we have videos that are AI generated and you think they are realities, meanwhile they are not. Right? So, as individuals, limit your time on social media. Focus on real life. What is happening within your age, surrounding your community. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Charles. This is question directed to Material Abayo. This person says, what does the role of teamwork and collaboration play in sustaining impact? What does it mean? How does it work?
I think I said it during my last explanation. When you collaborate with people, you do things together. The truth of the matter is you cover more ground. The importance of teamwork is that what you can achieve as a person, when 10 people comes together, you will do more. You will reach out to more people. And that's one thing about Socrates. There are instances where 2-3 different clubs come together just to carry out one particular project. There was a particular year that it was dedicated for water sanitation. And the idea was to reach out to communities. There are instances that Rotary clubs cannot even fund some of these projects. But when you put 3, 4, 5 clubs together and you decide that this project is going to an area, for instance, and you look at the cost of this project, you will see that it will be very easy for 3 or 5 Rotary clubs to achieve this project without spending your bank. And you also be able to carry out other projects in your clubs. So teamwork is also essential. It will also encourage you to build a lot of relationship. Like when you move from one club to the other, you tend to know other clubs in companies. You tend to create more friendship. You tend to create more network. You tend to do a lot of things together. Personally, when you have some kind of engagement, these are people who go together and they will be able to achieve all these things together as a person. After I start Attueyi and I look at my daughter's age, I will need to move on to the daughter because of her age. Do you know what I did? I put my friends together and we form what we call the progressive network. Have you heard about that? That's what teamwork talks about. These are people up this time. We still have our hangout every day. Teamwork, friendship is very, very essential. You cannot underestimate the value that you're getting in this friendship that you are building into your college right now in the next 5 years. So hold your friendship very well. Teamwork is something that will open doors for you when you expect it. Thank you so much.
Now, this is what we actually do, right? Is a form of policy, because we try it in front of everyone, and everyone is listening to us speak one way or the other. Now, this next question is, I'm a very shy person. How can I know I'm not speaking in public? I am shy. How can I say in public confidently?
Well, it's practice. First and foremost, let me tell you something. You will not go far if you don't learn how to speak. You won't go far. Unless maybe your father is a rich man, and then you inherit the wealth, and then you have people speaking on your behalf. But you cannot go far without learning how to speak. Nobody is natural. Okay, maybe people are natural born speakers. So people are born with this ability to speak, like the Barack Obama and go. But for the most part, you have to learn it. Stand in front of your mirror every day and talk to yourself. Record yourself speaking and watch it. And see your perks, your mistakes, and continue to work on it. That's how you improve. Practice makes perfect. But if you want to be successful in this life, you must learn how to speak to people. Stand in front. I have a friend that wanted to, that says her goal was to be a public speaker, but she would rather die than stand in front of people talking about it. I said, tomorrow she still refuses to go and learn how to do that. I'm saying that at some point you will be faced with a situation that will require you to do that. Then what? You run and hide? Practice. That's the only way. Stand in front of the mirror, do it every day, record yourself, watch yourself speak, record it, replay it, and do that over and over again. Brace yourself, stand up and do it. You will start that today, tomorrow you will be perfect. But again, practice.
Alright, let me share a personal experience. When I was in SS3, I was nominated as the head boy, the head prefect. We actually asked to come to the assembly to speak. We were given a particular topic to speak about. And I think there were like 4 people that were nominated as the head prefect. So I researched on the topic I was given. And the generally, we came out of the assembly and I was trying to start my points. That was my first time in public to speak. And within 2 seconds, I forgot everything that I memorized. And for like 5 minutes, I was just saying, and that shame was the beginning of my realization that, this can't continue. So we need to learn from our mistakes. You have to try first. If you don't try, you won't know whether you can do it or not. Right? I have a friend that has a podcast on Spotify. She just goes to Spotify, read books, and do summary of the books she read. That was a beginning of trying to build ourselves. Another thing is mirroring. You need to mirror yourself. How do you mirror? Find someone that struggles you and gives you the feedback of what you're doing. Okay, today I'm here, let me speak of this thing. You get feedback, okay, how was it like? What did I say I miss? Right? That's how you mirror yourself. I don't know when you can get a mentor, someone you've got to. How does this person speak? How does this person, the gestation, the and movement. Okay, we were here last week Friday for a basic education project, and one of the speaker, an instructor from the school, she forgot what she was supposed to speak on, and she was like, you know, the expression actually showed that, oh, she was impressed with what she was saying. Meanwhile, she had forgotten a line and was trying to come back and just give, like, this point of view itself, you know. It was a way to escape from that shit. So by the time you come up to speak, try it. I think for people that are interactors, it starts with your club. As a president for every meeting, select randomly your interactor to speak on any topic. Don't tell them, just tell them interactor, John, you'll be speaking on growth today. Call them, that is how you build interactors from your club. You do that 1, 2, 3 times. I mean, in next meeting, you have the opportunity to speak. They'll be better than they were yesterday.
Thank you very much.
Okay, well, I think one of the benefits that we enjoy looking at, almost all the doctors we give them the opportunity to listen before. One of the benefits they will tell you and aim for that is the ability to know microphone publicly, with confidence to speak. And I know that it has actually helped a lot of us. It has opened a lot of doors for us. Personally, I'm really witness. In fact, when they tell you that you want to contest as a position of DR, then you don't know how to speak, don't just go and pick up phone. Because in fact, at the point you show your interest to become the #1 in your district, you'll be getting invitation from different clubs. Come and be our guest speaker on topics you know nothing about. So you need to start researching, you need to start studying those topics, you need to start preparing yourself. You can't come publicly and they'll give you a microphone and you are off the point. I mean, how do you want to market yourself? How do you want the clubs to vote for you? So this goes right platform, because I like to run it out to the importance of the membership, the benefit of joining the class, because that's the team for today's topic. You know, every member, especially our interactors, you need to move from the interactive to the interactive, from the interactive to the country. It is important, the platform to develop yourself. Public speaking, like my fellow panelists said, you see, when you move from Rotterdam to Montreal, definitely you have your own business. You will be invited to business meeting. You will be asked to defend your proposals. You will be asked to explain about the income expectation, how do you want to defend yourself. You are shy. And this is a contract of millions. How do you defend it? This is a platform to develop you. The slide. You will stand beside the slide, you will talk about it. Look, realize, as club president, you are going to prepare your projects and programs for a year. The project you are going to reach in July is different from August. So you have to prepare. You have to present it before the retreat sponsor club. Because these are the people that you want to see funds from them. So you don't just go with letter and just assume you give you. No. You have to defend the purpose of the state. So public speaking is a very essential skills that you need to develop. You need to react so that it can open more doors for you. Thank you so much.
All right, we have one question here. I would ask the person to please give me after the session. Interactors, yes. Yes. So the question is, this is from Interactor Sonia Barakat. She said, how would I join a Rotaract club after my secondary school because I am not up to the age to become a Rotarian? This is another one, I believe, from Interactors. People do say practice makes improvement. Can you please prove how practice makes perfect?
Okay, let me take the first one, which is moving from international to Rotaract. I think it's very easy because we have Rotaract that supervise the activities of international. So I think the first thing is to get to know the international that sponsors or supervise your activities as international. then they can advise, monitor you. You should be seeing the directors of the Lord Fellowship. If you don't see them, then you need to write letters to them. In fact, I say the TLR will advise you on how to go about it. So this will help you to move even when you are done with your education, secondary school education. Sometimes, after your secondary school, it might be you being campus school. So we have social-based transport, we have community-based transport. So here are the guide on that. Now, I think we have talked about how practice is perfect. I think my other colleagues have spoken about mirror. What is that mirror? It's not that you just start thinking about start mirroring yourself. No, stand before the mirror, rehearse, practice. This will help you to build your confidence, your courage. Because in fact, you said you can even record yourself. If you stand before mirror, you will not be able to play back. But record yourself with your phone, gadget. Record yourself. After that, play it. Listen to your voice. The other speakers spoke about your hand movement, how you communicate. You have this ability to make the eye contact with your audience. It's also important. These are the things you will develop as time progresses when you continue to practice. It will help you to be perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So we are going to the end of this panel session. So just in 1 minute, I want you to please give your position. But then I will use this question and I will take this question and go to the question. So this question is how to build, grow, and connect to people. How can I build, how can I grow, and how can I connect to people? Just in 1 minute to talk about strategy. How can I grow, how can I build, and how to connect with people?
Okay, it's just to recap what you said so far anyway. Best thing to how you can grow is to keep learning. An interesting thing about learning is, in fact, it's even free right now. Why we advise you not to stay glued with your gadget and phone. It's also important to know the essence of you pressing phone. It's just ChatGPT things. You don't even need to pay someone for tutorials. With ChatGPT, anything you want to learn, even the business that you want to do, the skills that they enhance your development, just like it there, practice them, enhance them. You look at the country, there's nothing you want to become in life. And what's your chosen career? You want to become a doctor, you have numbers of doctors. You want to become a politician, like Opa just said, we have, in fact, those are two commissioners, we have a lot of them. In fact, in the Rotary Club of Lagos, last year, Tinubu offered one Nigerian, was not even a pastor's appointment, federal government appointment. He turned it down. They will tell you, come down, federal government appointment. These are quality people we have to go through. And these are people we just meet in this hall without passing through protocols or anything. So what do you want to become? What is your chosen career that you think you cannot have? You have mentors already. Take advantage of it and you grow. Thank you so much.
Okay, so there was a video I saw the other day of this man who has thousands of followers, but in reality he lives in isolation to himself. So I remember when we were kids, we used to always play outside. We didn't have phones then. We had friends. We knew people, we interacted with people, but today, social media is beginning to isolate us more. We now spend more time on our phone than we spend with actual people. And what that is doing is a disconnect. Because you see, there's a saying that he who has people is greater than he who has money. Your money can only take you so far. It is people that will ultimately decide whether that money will go far or not. Because a lot of times, a lot of us, we focus on chasing, and we talk about wealth creation, we should focus on individualistic goals, our us, me. And then we forget that you need a community, you need a group of people to be successful. Some of us don't go to our school reunions because maybe we think that we're not doing very well. I and we don't want to go and see people that are doing better than us. Or some of us think we are doing better than the others, so they are beneath us, so we are now on a different level. But you need to understand that the best way is to find people that you connect with and always make sure that you are the smartest in your group. Because if you are the smartest in your group, you will end up giving. I mean, I want to know my monitor. Knowledge, you need to also be able to gain. So surround yourself with people that are like superior than you in certain areas. Maybe better than them in finance, but they're better than you in technology. So they will teach you something, you will teach them something. But ultimately, you need people. Stop hiding behind social media. Stop hiding behind these fake walls. Stop thinking that you are better than people who are better than you. There is no person that you cannot learn something from, and then you can give something to. Go place, go groups, leverage people, and develop yourself, because ultimately that's what will determine if you are successful.
All right, so can you say the question again?
How to grow a network?
Build your network. Thank you. I think for me, Rotaract has already given us, Rotaract Military, Interact has already given the platform we need. What you just need to do is to show up. For fellowships, meetings, and for Rotaract talks, you don't have to stay within your club alone. You go out to other Rotary clubs, other Rotaract clubs, network, meet with people. Rotaract, Sunday morning, Rachel was saying something 2 weeks ago. Said, whenever we go out to Rotary functions, and it takes me along with him. Getting this back, I will start meeting people, introduce myself, I'm the captain, it is the way of you networking, meeting with people. If you don't meet up with people, they won't know you. It is when you approach them, oh, my name is Attueyi, this is what I do, XYZ. I remember this job. They will get that will draw that interest from that person to you. So the best way to build yourself, network. Rotary, if you don't if you don't go and meet them, then you don't expect them to come to you. You want to say, something. So you have to go out there and meet with them. And in closing, I would say, let us inspire. As interactors, if people around you do not see what to do, if you are not telling your story, you can gain members into your account stream. A lot of things happened yesterday, that's inspiring. But then, what impact do you make? The way people see us as individuals, it's what transcends to if they will join this organization to us or not. We have over 20 people here. How many people are joining us to us? If you are telling the story, if you are making that impact, if you are inspiring people around us, definitely we will grow as an organization. And because of this seminar, which is membership, we cannot take away that membership from this seminar. So please let us go out there and inspire. Let us go out there and motivate people, be a reason for people to join this organization. Knowing that, because of XYZ, because of the way it relates, because of the impact it has actually contributed to my life, to the community, I have to be a part of this organization. So please, let us inspire and let us contribute. Thank you.
This is where we are going to close of today's panel. And we sincerely apologize to everyone for the questions that we couldn't take. However, these questions will be sent to our speakers and we will respond to it and send it back to you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Please have a possibility you actually noticed at some point I couldn't have been on them for the time management because I was enjoying every segment of the session. In fact, I would like to sincerely appreciate every one of our panelists and also our moderators for those well-created questions that have been answered. In fact, if you did not enjoy Mr. Mr. JP has been position, you will know that there's a lot to learn from him and we'd like to say it. So quickly, we appreciate them. Yes, we appreciate them. And then I like that now looking at the picture. Okay, we have our membership chairperson, something else. So we appreciate them. And this is the fact that like Mr. JP said, we don't pay to come in, and it's just the fact, and that is one of the joy we enjoy as members of this organization. So before I give them what we have for them today, I would like to especially recognize the presence of the district social representative elect of district 9112.